We got our front lawn, our living room on our front lawn.
We just need a car on blocks. So we're getting it organized. Smokey Bear has approved. You can see him right there. Welcome to Time by the Tent up here for another weekend here up at the land.
We are here for this nice long weekend, and
Just unloading everything.
yeah, we're unloading. And when Joey got here, my hat, which was left up here, apparently was on a tree stump.
It was over there along the trail.
Oh.
So
we think it was like a red squirrel.
Because we've had them kind of go in the tent before, and
they're kind of sassy.
Yeah. So 67 degrees right now. We had a big storm up here this past Tuesday evening, much like the one that, if you followed last week's episode, I was in, and the tent held up. No extra water was in the tent when I got here today. So we think we've accomplished that. I still want to put bracing on the rafters in order to kick the water, shed the water off quicker and easier so it doesn't pool. So I've got a reclining chair I got to bring up. I've got a kitchen cabinet, nook kind of thing to bring up, similar to one I've already got in the tent. And then we will start organizing the tent. I'll get the fire going. We will eat first, and then we will organize the tent for its till fall configuration. So everything is up out of the car. There's a cabinet that goes in the tent. Lounge chair. I think we've got like 25, 30 gallons of water.
It's a lot of water.
2 aquatainers, which will be for shower, rinse off, and then all the bottle down there for drinking. And then we got some stuff over here. We got the fire going. And we're going to eat and then organize. Because this is what people don't show you, all the stuff.
We got our front lawn, our living room on our front lawn.
We just need a car on blocks. It's getting there. We're going to get a good bit of coals going there, burn some of that small stuff up, and then we've got Spam and mushroom, onion, pepper stir fry we'll cook in the skillet. Also put up the flag from eaglemountainflag.com. Looks good over the camp.
So we made one of our favorite camp lunches. Instead of eating sandwiches on the way here, Spam and then sauteed veggies. This is mushroom, sweet pepper, and onion.
So we are going to get the tent organized here, move stuff from the smaller tent, and just kind of make this into the tent that it needs to be. Again, this is a 10 by 12 Ozark Trail wall tent. This is a 10 by 20 Ozark Trail wall tent, and the back of the 10 by 12 we have cut out and connected the two together to allow us to have a 10 foot by 32 foot long wall tent. 2 rooms if you want to look at it that way. I still want to put supports, logs, or like little finger diameter pieces there to let the water shed off, because the water sometimes likes to pool, and it has in the smaller tent too. So that's one project. But we're going to get everything organized here and bring the bed in and other things in and kind of work our way into the smaller tent. So the bed has been moved. The stove is next. Just in a little bit that I've burnt wood in the stove the last 4 weekends. Really a lot of creosote built up, which means the wood is not completely dry. It's something that need to be aware of, but also this is not a house or a cabin. It's just a straight wall, single wall pipe, and still need to be cautious of it. but got them both cleaned out again, and we are going to move the stove and then work around the stove. We got the bed there, and we're just kind of working our way into the tent. So next is the stove. So we're getting it organized. Smokey Bear has approved. You can see him right there. Got the TV stand. I did the stand a couple of weeks ago, and DVD player and TV stand. And then the stove, for the time being, the stove's going to be here. When it's fully operational, we may tweak it more like this to get away from the tent wall. But I do have a metal piece here, and then I have a duplicate of this at the house I'll bring, and that would kick some of that heat away from it. And then the dog cage mesh, whatever you want to call it, is also a way to vent that heat away from the tent. So that's the thing that we're looking at. And then the gun rack, made that out of an old high chair, wooden high chair. Got our handguns there, long guns, and the shelf for our cases. And then we took the framework there and moved it over here to be closer to Holly's side, so she can have her mirror and her lantern. So that works good. And then over here we've got our 2 chairs and our ottoman for lounging. And then we're still working in the current tent, but also this here is kind of the catch-all right now, and we will gradually work and organize this as well. Still got a number of things outside, minimal things. I got to bring the wood box in, but also the bottom of the wood box is quite wet from setting in the leaves, so I've got that in the sun, and I've got the kindling box, which is a bushel basket, which this may be the last year because it's kind of on the rough side right now. And we are having rain supposedly moving in, but we are not certain when yet. So I'm going to run out in the woods and change the trail camera battery out there, and then I will be back and we will continue the journey of creating Super Tent. And woods has really flourished in the last 3 weeks. Pine trees are always got, needles on them, but all these maples and underbrush really got a lot going on. I got to change out the battery, external battery. It's ran a good month probably. Having issues with keeping them going for a long time, but I'll figure it out. I do not have the right equipment with me in order to pull the data off the card. I think the only recent thing was a big hailstorm from last week, and then one morning there was 2 deer out here in this what is an open area that kind of circles a quarter of the property, where I guess they like some kind of a old logging road of some sort. So the problem was not the battery was dead. Now the battery may be low, I don't know. I've switched it out. The problem I'm seeing is the camera has lost cell signal because it can't pick up a signal because it's too far in the woods. Now this camera has worked. I guess we put it here October of last year, and then pulled it November, and then put it back up here, I guess it was February? No, March. I put it up here when the trees were pretty thin and there wasn't a whole lot of leaves. Now I do have an external antenna for this, in which I can disconnect that and then run an antenna way up there to try to pull a signal, which is what I'm going to need to do because I have had a lot of activity on this camera. I was able to hit the right buttons and go in and see what's on that card. There's doe and a fawn. There's multiple deers on this trail camera. So that's what I will need to do, is go back and get the external antenna and see if I can get this camera to produce a signal in order for me to get images because I'm paying for it and I would like to know what's out here. Okay, so I was able to get a signal with the external antenna. Was able to pick up signal, a G4 signal and a GPS signal. So we had that last year when we bought the 2 cameras. I'm just waiting on confirmation from Holly at the tent or a friend back home who also has access to our account for this specific reason, because we don't have very good service here, and I'm waiting to see if that camera notifies one of the 2 individuals so I know I can head back to the tent and it's working. But we were going to send that antenna back because we had hung up the Tacticams last year and they worked, and we're going to send it back, and it was going to be like half as, we were only going to get half back what the value of it was because we had to pay for restocking or something weird like that. So we just kept it, and good thing we did, because it has now come in handy to get us a signal on a camera in which we're paying a small monthly subscription for so we can see what's in the woods. So it worked out.
We've been organizing, moving stuff around our larger tent. So we have hello. We are cooking dinner. This is Greek marinated chicken thighs, and then there's asparagus in the cast iron.
So the camera did identify through the app that it was connected, but it did not send any pictures. So I don't know if I didn't wait long enough in order for it to do that. Typically they'll fire off pictures, so we'll wait overnight. It will update. It gives a daily update at 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. So we'll see what happens, and if it does fine tonight, then we'll let it go. If not, I'll go out there and fiddle with it some more and see if I can make it work. So supper, and then we have kind of organized a little bit of the tent. It's still in a process now, and we'll work through that more tomorrow as well.
Here's the grilled chicken, fire chicken, whatever you want to call it, and asparagus.
Good morning. Last opportunity for turkey hunting. Spring turkey hunting 2024. Got up at 4, been out here just sitting around the campfire, which is not going, for the last 30 minutes. I've heard one way off in the distance that way. I mean, way off. And there's one in the distance that way, where they were last weekend. And it's been a while since I've heard them gobble, and when they do, it is so far away. If they were closer, I'd set up and try to call them in like I did last week, but I'm just being realistic. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this year, harvesting a turkey. Turkey camp looks like it's going to be an 0-4-3 attempt. So that's where we're at. If anything changes prior to getting breakfast made, I'll share it with you, but I may walk down by the car there and give a call or two and see. I expect nothing. We've got big rains moving in this afternoon and tonight. So and it's the last 2 days of the season. I need to work on getting tags for the first 2 weeks of the season next year, or 3 seasons,
French toast. It's a little bit challenging on the what's it called? So there it is.
Okay, so I've got the rafter support in. In some areas, I've added an additional support that kind of bends into the side frame just to make sure the water will shed off. I did zip tie that one. If I need to zip tie other ones, I will. I've done it all on both sides here in order to support the tent, or the water shedding off. Right here I didn't, for the off chance it may pool, and then it would run at an angle here and then go off. This side here I did also run a support beam because we've had issues in this corner, and a side beam there just to make sure it sheds there off. This side we've never had any problems with, but the stove here I did add extra support so it would run here and then cascade off. So that should prevent water on the roof. And again, that is a division between the two tents. That's a 4.5-inch tree, debarked and split, and then screwed at, or cut at an angle and screwed at the top, and that shedded all the water off. We've had 2 very torrential downpours last week when I was here, as well as last Tuesday, and no water is in the tent. So the tape underneath it has helped, and that sheds a lot of the water, the rest of the water off and away from that crack, what little crack there is there. So this should be the solution, at least what I think it should be, for this particular problem.
Since we have 40 acres, I asked Joey if there was a spot where I could, is a picturesque spot where I could have like my own space and just a nice little peaceful area. And so he came up with this. There's our bog behind me, and then to that direction, which is westish, is our main campsite. And then this will be the kind of little space here. He already had cleared the trail to get back here a couple weeks ago. So this will be it. Kind of make it my own. I have some ideas. Nice little peaceful area for me to relax and read or do whatever. So I'm looking forward to it.
Making venison burgers and baked beans. Just about done. Chasing the rain, or the rain's chasing us. It's going to be here probably in less than an hour. So we're going to eat and then get things packed up. Well, that will do it. Everything's packed up. We're going to head home. Thanks for joining us on this weekend trip. If you made it this far, let's put rain in the comments below. Let me know that the 7 of you made it this far. RAIN. Going to cut this weekend short, but it was a very good and productive and enjoyable one. So thank you very much. If you like this kind of thing, be sure you subscribe, comment, and like, and I'll see you next time.